Well, today is November the 12th, and I have been sharing a lot of information with the people regarding business model. So I figured I should definitely give a small introductory talk on business model. And my goal is to finish within 3 minutes, if not 6 minutes. That's the goal. All right, so business model, right? Especially from the marketing model perspective. And of course, in my past capacity, I worked on the corporate strategy. We talked about marketing and go-to-market strategies. And we also talked about, in my next job as a consultant, I work with a company to help them set up the right go-to-market strategies and approaches. And if we think about just the marketing strategy itself, right? And there is a historical um, like evolution per se, right? And the starting point in the past has been all right. Let's just have the product, right? And it's basically product is produced, designed, and we just attract the clients, right? Attract the clients. Yeah, so that's basically product centric and then advertisement centric, right? Attract basically is through advertisement. Does that work? Yeah, it does work. It just that it doesn't work that effectively because you got to think about the return on investment and then the conversion rate and of course stickiness as well, right? And so, for instance, how many can you reach? So basically, is the dollar amount proportional to how many people would be reached out to you? And this is basically a percentage. Unfortunately, it's a pretty low percentage. And once these people are reached out and somehow they need to be interested in what you do and they reach out to you. And of course, there is another percentage. Okay. And after they reached out to you, they either call you or something, or they decided to give it a consideration. Now you're facing the competitor. That's another. So basically, selection, right? They need to make a selections, and that's another percentage. And finally, they become a customer, right? And uh, and that is another percentage. And well, the problem is once they become the customer, they can always return the product or turn it back on you, or this is just a one-time deal. So there is another percentage. So basically, from this perspective, the product-centric, advertisement-centric business model, the push, I called it the push model, right? And there is this all this percentage all added on. So that's why exactly you see the numbers here. Sometimes it's a 1 million to 1 ratio, right? Or 1,000, 10,000, 10K to 1 ratio, depending on the product and the branding and all that stuff. And that's why at that era, the whole thing is about a branding. If you don't have the brand, if you don't have the coverage, right, it's you're not going to get it. So that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the old business model. And the second business model is more advanced, right? Because your advertisement may not necessarily reach out to everybody. This first thing of the number, the first percentage you got to get hit, you're going to try to minimize it. How do you do that? You go through franchise model. Okay, so basically, to save your advertisement money and to save the coverage, you actually leverage the franchise, so that you're going to be able to cover different locations, different demographics, and then by using somebody else's money to do the expansions, right? So this is a more scale based. The whole thing is about a scale and the speed, right? It's all about a scale and the speed. And it is a still advertisement, but it's more minimized because you are able to address, the advertisement to the number, you get higher, and then the number to how many people come over, because you are able to cover all the regions and the geographic locations. You're going to have more people to pass by, right? Just by seeing your franchise, seeing the brand, people are coming here, right? The calls go up or show up goes up, and they come in and they make a selections. Of course, you only sell McDonald's. Of course, they're going to stick around and then become your clients. And because the cost is so low, that you don't have to pay for the advertisements anymore. Essentially, you are using somebody else's money to do your franchising, so you are able to reduce the price a lot. So therefore, the chances for them to become a customer getting really higher, right? The selection getting higher, the chances they become a customer is getting higher, and because it's so easy to find you to get used to your food and whatever the addiction is, they stick around, right? Stickiness, stickiness actually get higher. They stick around and they come back. The return, the recurrence goes up. It's beautiful. Franchise is really advanced, right? Now, the only problem with the franchise is you need count on the franchisees to put in a lot of money. This is a franchisee's money, right? The franchisee's money essentially is up in the front, and there is no guarantee it's going to be successful. And only those fools, right? Because we're talking about $100,000 or $1 million to put into the franchise, right? So this is the big chunk that you need. And this is, it's not a push model anymore. Is a little bit of push and pull, right? And push and pull, okay, is a lot more effective than the push model. So now the next one is really breaking through. It's called a network marketing. Network marketing is a lot more significantly improve the way you do business, because there's no such up in the front of franchise fees anymore. Is rather than it is replaced by, yes, it still has the scale, still has the speed, and more importantly, now the investment is not the franchise fee, it is a more the trust. Okay, so it's the relationship and the trust that is the investment. Of course, plus, the self purchase, that's another thing. Some people call it a catch, and another thing is called a member fee, right? Member fee. Those are the things, and exclusiveness of the product is the last one, right? The product itself is exclusive. So basically, you only sell one product. Amway is Amway, Avon is Avon, whatever the product is. So you do have the scale, you do have the speed, and you have this undeniable, advantage, which is the trust and the relationships, right? So this is very effective because there is no up in the front fee, so it's cheap to get in. Anybody can get in. You don't have to be wealthy, and actually, for the upper lines, this is becoming a pull model. Think about it. When people join, they actually pull from you, right? So you don't have to sit duck and then wait for the clients anymore. There will be people pulling the resource, pulling the inventory from you, and then actively sell. So network marketing is very effective unless there is a scandal, there is a Ponzi going on, right? So what's the disadvantage? Well, disadvantage is when you leverage trust for the sales, and that could really hurt the trust and the sales, right? And usually the conversion rate can be very high, but the stickiness can really get hurt. That's why there's always a saying: is a 10 out of a 10 people, you probably only have a one really coming in to show interest, and then they may never call you again, talk to you again, because they kept so much of an inventory. You solve the inventory problem, you solve the sales problem through the pull system, but eventually this can be a dead end. So you definitely need to have a lot of people to be part of your downlines in order to push that network marketing. So the biggest challenge and the problem with network marketing and the multi-layer marketing specifically is not, you know, it's is that the inventory itself, right? It's not ethical to some people's definition of ethicness, right? Ethic. It's not ethical to push inventories to people, let them buy, right? And that creates a problem that eventually hurt the trust. So now let's look at the next era of the business model, which is called what? It's called a crowdsourcing, crowd um, capitalism, crowd capitalism. And some people call it a Uberization. Uberization. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, first of all, everybody, you don't have to buy inventories anymore. It's a more on the service side, right? So everybody is a client, but more importantly, everybody is an agent, right? And what's the big difference is they have this huge and effective platform and the system that you can use in order to conduct your business at no cost, literally no cost, right? And or a really, really low cost, and there is no subscription or nothing, right? They allow you to become an agent, to become, reach out to the clients, and it usually doesn't have to have a relationship, right? Because agent is everywhere. That solve the advertisement problem, right? Solve the advertisement problem, and also, calling in. The calling in is addressed by the platform itself because it's the tool everybody can use for free, right? And they also solve the selection issue because whoever has the platform essentially would naturally put you onto the selections. And sometimes we see the agent can be Uber driver and all the drivers for every company, right? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. And how about the customer conversion rate? Well, it's very, very high because they're everywhere, and who doesn't need it, right? So basically, you are able to create this platform of building a fish net, essentially to fish the clients in a positive way, right? So who is making a lot more money? The agent are making small money, but the Uber system is making tons more money. What this is a good is there is no up in the front investment, no nothing, and there is a very high conversion rate and a very good stickiness. And basically, when you use this model, you don't need stickiness, right? It's all about keeping the stickiness of the agent, right? Not the clients. Wow, that's powerful, right? Because if you want the client or the customer to be sticky to you, it's very hard. You got to invest in, you got to do a lot of customer experiences and not. So basically, this is resolve the biggest problem. And of course, customers is everywhere. You're going to be able to find them no matter what. So if you think about this is the so-called, the Groupons, and then all these, even Amazon.com is a Uberization to some extent. So everybody can sell things on eBay and Amazon, right? DoorDash, all these crazy. So that's a crowdsourcing, crowd capitalism, side hustle business error. So effectively, Uberization is just a different format of a network marketing, right? It's just a different format of network marketing. It's just a different format of a franchise business, and it's just a different format of the traditional marketing and the sales approaches. It's just that everybody become the agent, right? With that said, what is the most advanced? Well, after Uberization, we cannot predict which model will come in. But essentially, it's all about what? It's all about the product, your partnership, or agentship, or employment. Well, you can call it anyway. And the last one is the platform. It's all about these three things. Think about it. The pricing, place, all these things. Yeah, they're in promotion, right? That's what the 7P former McKinsey was about, but I really don't care about those, right? If you look at these four areas, number one is the traditional brick mortar marketing. Number two is the franchise business model. Number three is network marketing. Number four is crowd sourcing and urbanization model, right? They all have their pros and cons. And some people will even argue they are not linearly evolving into each other. I would agree because they can coexist and actually supplement each other, right? I don't disagree, but you can never ever get away from these three questions when you build a system: product, partnership, and platform. Okay. And I usually ask people to look at the business model when they're getting involved in is that what kind of a product do you have? Do you have to produce? Do you have to buy? Or do you just, leverage somebody else's, right? So leverage is beautiful. What about partnership? A partnership, do you want to be a employee employment relationship or franchise franchisee relationship, or you want to be a business, upline downline relationship, or you want to be a partner relationship, right? I usually say, you can be any. Isn't that what California is trying to force all the Uber drivers to become like, employee benefited, right? That's going to totally sabotage this whole, evolution of this marketing business strategies, right? I mean, but partnership essentially, is actually highly appreciated when you are telling people or when your business model allow people to be equal contract with you or even surpass you. That's important, right? So basically, partnership, is profit sharings, right? It's all about profit sharings. All of them are profit sharing, but some partnership wouldn't allow you to go above whoever is above you, right? Profit sharing and equal contract, right? Equal contract. And of course, the last point, but not the least, is the platform. Platform is not just about software, it's not about just vehicle or company branding. It could be anything. But the platform means a lot. And I would have to say, all three business models, the brand itself is the most important platform you're going to build upon. Okay, don't forget about it. Your brand name. So, what is the most reliable brand name? Well, legalized, of course, and governed by governed by the government agent or licensed, right? And what other branding? Branding is that global presence and asset under management, and also your financial power, right? And you can compare all four and to decide that. That's exactly why Uber probably still number one, right? Netflix is still number one. Even think about the iTunes. Isn't that a Uberization business model? It is. It's not network marketing. It's not a franchise. It's, well, you can say a glimpse of it, but essentially it's a Uberization in the music industry, right? And YouTube, that's a typical Uberization, right? And some of the financial services industry is also in Uberization. So be mindful, open your ears and open your mind, and we're always evolving. We are always evolving, not only the marketing business models, but also ourselves. That's exactly what I'm doing this here now, right? I want to benefit the crowds a little bit. And of course, this is going to be articulated by somebody else. Why don't I just give it a try? Well, this is a part of what I teach at the graduate school as well. So enjoyed it. With that said, looking to myself, I'm toasted, but Zoome will get me to a different level. Hey, have a good day. I enjoyed it.